Hi guys, welcome to the second Sunday living room piano lesson with me, Mark, and the chalkboard. Today we are going to be talking about scales. So as you hopefully know, you actually have a say in what I'm teaching here in the series. And in the description box down below, you will find an overview of all of the lessons that are going to be released and all of the lessons that already have been released. So if you want to learn anything about the piano and you don't see it in the list yet, leave a comment in the comment section down below and I will pick that up and make a lesson for that. Also, I want you to write this time in your calendar because I'll be back every Sunday. But today we're going to be talking about scales. Okay, so before we move on, I just want to announce the sponsor of this lesson, and that is the Ultimate Piano Course, my own course, and you can find that on Skillshare. So if you find this stuff interesting, you can have a look at the Ultimate Piano Course. You get 2 months of free access via the link in the description box down below, so make sure to check that out. But for now, let's get right into it. And this is one of these things that people are really confused about sometimes, and I will show you how that works. So normally when we have all of the notes, we have C, C sharp, A sharp, okay, my board is too small, but anyway, and a B, okay? So people think that you go from this note to this note to this note, makes sense, right? However, when we play something, we may for instance go from D to E to F sharp to G to A, and then to B to C sharp, right? And then people get confused. They're like, why are we skipping this note? Why are we skipping that note? Why are we skipping that note? And why are we skipping that note? And the A sharp? And they simply do not understand. Well, today I'm going to explain to you how that works. So what I notice all the time is that when people talk about scales, and you have the C major scale, for instance, people find that very easy, okay? Because you go from this one to that one and you just keep on going, okay? However, if you play something else like the A flat major, all of a sudden you go from black to white notes, you're skipping a note, you're not skipping a note, and people get really confused. And in general, even if you don't know what a scale is yet, scales may be confusing to people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how these scales work and why they're important, okay? So, first of all, there's 12 notes on the piano. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we start over again, okay? And you will notice that this sounds very familiar. Okay, but this doesn't really sound that familiar, okay? That's because when I play this, it's a scale, and this is just playing every note right after each other. So, there's a discrepancy between how the piano is laid out and how it looks and how a scale actually works, okay? And that is basically like this. If I start right here, and this is the first note, and I keep on counting down, I end up on 12 notes, as I taught you before, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. However, if I play a scale, I'm only playing 7 notes. Look, I'm playing the first one, I'm not playing this one, I'm playing the third one, not playing this one, I'm playing the fifth one, the sixth one, the 8th, the 10th, and the 12th. Okay? So this means I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes only. So where there's 12 notes on the piano, we usually only play 7 notes. Now the thing that confuses most people is, if we only play 7 notes, why is there 12? And how do you decide which 7 notes there are? Well, here's the good news. For every note on the piano, there's a scale. Okay, so we have 12 scales and 12 notes. And every scale consists out of 7 notes. 7 notes per scale. Okay? So 12 notes, 7 notes being used, there's 12 scales, and every scale has 7 notes per scale. Now, why is a scale so important? The scale is important because it actually tells you which notes to play and which notes you cannot play. So let me demonstrate that. Let's say I'm playing something like this. Sounds pretty good, right? Okay, so then I can... Still sounds good. Now listen what happens now. Oh, all of a sudden it doesn't sound at all. That's because I played notes that aren't in the scale. So here's how that's gonna work. I like to view scales as languages, okay? So we have 12 scales, we have 12 languages. So you may say we have Spanish, Greek, English, French, German, Japanese, whatever. Doesn't matter. Obviously, if you talk in Spanish to somebody who's Greek, they will not understand you. And when you talk English to a French person, well, we've all tried this, they will definitely not understand you, or at least pretend not to do so. And the same with the Japanese and the Germans, okay? Now here's what composers do. They want to write a song and they try to figure out in which language it will sound the best, okay? The easiest language, of course, is English, okay? So then they may pick English because it's easiest. But maybe they want something a little bit different, so they go for Spanish or German or Japanese, whatever. Doesn't matter which languages these are. Now, obviously, when you take a language, you have to stick to the words, and some words may be overlapping, but some words are not overlapping. So there's certain words that if you say in a certain language, another person with another language will not understand that. And that is the same with the scales. So the scales that we have are C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. Okay, these are all of the white notes, and all of these notes have a scale. C, D, okay, E. And you can hear that they sound the same, but they're getting a little bit higher. Okay. G, etc., etc. And the black notes also have scales. Now, hopefully you watched the previous lesson, so you know the name of the black notes by now. But basically we have C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, and A sharp. Or, and here's the nice thing, you can also name the flat, and the scale will be exactly the same. The same notes will be in there. So we could also say D flat, E flat, G flat, A flat, or B flat. So these are 5 different scales, and these are 7 scales. 7 plus 5 is 12. We have a total of 12 major scales. And they all sound like this. Same one. Okay, they just get a little bit higher. And also for the flats, exactly the same sound. So what's very important is that you can use those scales to identify which notes are in a certain song, because every composer has to have picked a key or a scale in which they want to play. So therefore Yuruma picked a certain scale, and that's why the song sounds like this, okay? And the scale he picked is A major. Now I will tell you why that is later on, but let's transcribe that to C major just for the heck of it. Okay, exactly the same. Okay, you can immediately hear why he chose A major instead of C major. Okay, C major sounds rather boring with this song. Okay, so composers pick a key or a scale, which is the same thing essentially, and write the whole song in that scale. And picking this scale is like picking a language. If you pick German, you better stick to German, because otherwise it's gonna sound weird. You cannot put French words and then German words and then Spanish words, because nobody is going to be able to understand and it will sound weird. And that is the same with this. you pick a skill and you stick to it in the basis, okay? If you get more advanced songs, like some of these classical songs maybe, skills will be changing all the time, but in general, most of the songs, 98% of the songs you're gonna see are gonna have one skill. So how does it work? A scale is basically like a rule book. It tells you you can play this note, you cannot play that note, okay? So let's see how that works. C major scale. All of these white notes right here. Now for any skill you want to find out, all you have to do is start on one note. And right now I went for the C major scale, so I have to start on the C. If I want to figure out the C major scale, I have to start on C. If I want to figure out the A major scale, I have to start on A. If I want to figure out the C sharp major scale, I have to start on C sharp. Makes sense, right? So I start on C. Let's suppose that I do not know this yet. So I write down C. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip one note. So the next note that I could play is this one right here, the black note. I'm not going to play that, I'm going to skip it. Okay? So C, skip, and then the next one is going to be D. Then I'm going to skip another note and play the note after that. Okay? So again, skip, play the note. Oops, that's not a D, that's an E, of course. Then I can simply play the next note. Then I'm gonna have to skip a note and play the note after that. So I'm gonna have to skip another note and play the one after that. And skip another note and play the note after that. As you can see right here, a major scale is rather easy. It's play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes that you have to play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes that you have to skip. So basically, if you want to remember this, it's super duper easy. All you have to remember is at the third note, don't skip. Okay, so the third note, do not skip. Otherwise you would get this. Play, skip, play, skip, play, skip, play, skip. Okay, now you have 6 S's. We cannot have that because we do not have 13 notes, we've only got 12 notes. So you could write P, S, P, S, P, S, P, S, P, S, P, blah, 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 and remove this S right here and you're good. Okay? Now we're going to always remove that third S. Now let's try it for another key or another scale. So first of all for C, we know that this works because we just tried it. Now I want to try A major. So I want to figure out A major, so I have to start on A. And later on I want to figure out E major, so then I have to start on E. And then I want to figure out, let's do G sharp major, okay? So then I have to start on G sharp. But for now, let's start on A. A, I'm gonna play a note, skip a note, play a note. That's going to be B. Now what do I have to do? Skip a note, so I have to skip this one, play a note, that's C sharp. Now I simply have to play the next note. D, skip a note, play a note, E, skip a note, play a note, F sharp, skip a note, and play a note, G sharp. Cool? Let's see if this is correct. That's correct. So this formula also works for the A major scale. Let's try E. Play an E. To skip a note. So I'm not playing this one, I'm playing this one. That's F sharp. Skip a note. Not playing this one, I'm playing this one. G sharp. Now I have to simply play the next one. That's A. Skip a note, so not this one but this one. That's B. Skip a note, so not this one but this one. C sharp. Skip a note, not this one but this one. D sharp. Okay, so let's see if that sounds good. Yes, we made it. E major. Also play, skip, play, skip, play, play, skip, play, skip, play, skip, play. G sharp, let's see. G sharp. Skip a note, so not this one, but I have to play this one, and that's an A sharp. Skip a note, so not this one, but actually play this one. That's a B sharp, if we're being technical. Okay, play the next one, C sharp. Skip a note, play the next one, D sharp. Skip a note, play the next one, E sharp. Skip a note, play the next one, F double sharp. Okay? Only sharps. So, starting here. Whoops, F double sharp, and then G sharp. So, and that is correct. Now, if you want to know about that E sharp and the B sharp and the F double sharp, make sure to watch the previous episode as to which notes these are. But I will explain to you why we have them in here, because it's important to know for the skills. Okay? So remember, you always skip a note except for the third one. You do not skip a note right there. But apart from that, you always skip a note. And that's how you find any major scale. Make sure that these in total are 12. Otherwise something is going wrong. Okay? Has to be 12, and the beginning note is also going to be the end note. So if you do this, you will end up there. And now you go like, I want another note. You go back to the beginning. And then the release is there. Okay? So, quickly, because I know you... Oh man, my piano is so dusty. I know you guys are gonna ask me this, Mark, what the fuck was up with these sharps, okay? Okay, so whenever you write down a scale, you have to follow C, D, E, F, G, A, B, okay? You cannot, for instance, write C, C, E. That doesn't make any sense. So all of these notes have to be in here. Now, pay attention to what I just did. If I would start on G sharp, I'm basically starting here. So now I have to make A, B, C, D, E, F, right? If I just do what you think is right, I go from G sharp, skip a note, play a note, I end up on A sharp. That's fine. Skip a note, play a note, I end up on C. Okay, where did the B go? The B is gone. There's no B. And that doesn't make any sense, okay? So what we do is C, as you've learned in the previous episode, is a B sharp. Okay, because it's a B going half a note up. So if you ever have this kind of situation where you're trying to figure out your scale and you want to write it down, keep in mind, if you're playing it, it doesn't matter. But if you want to write it down, G sharp, A sharp, C, that's not possible. Okay? So this isn't a C, this is a B sharp. And you can look that up, okay? If you find out what the G sharp major scale is, you will see a B sharp in there. Then I'm going to continue on. This is my B sharp. Now I don't have to skip a note, so I end up on C sharp. Skip a note, play a note, D sharp. And now I have the annoying thing that I want to play the E because I know this is going to be an E, right? But I have to skip a note and then play a note, which is the F. But I cannot write down F because my last note was D. So again, B sharp, going half a note up. Here as well, the E sharp is actually the F. So I can solve this by writing E sharp. Now, my final note. I'm right here. I have to skip a note and play a note. Right now I have the G, but I cannot write down G because I have to write down an F. And if I write down F, I have an issue because the F is right here. F sharp I would end up right here, but that's still not good enough. I need to end up one note further, what is normally the G. So I'm simply gonna write another sharp, because this means half a note up, half a note up. So basically what this is saying here, F double sharp, is F plus half a note plus half a note. And that is G. Look, F plus half a note plus half a note is the G. Okay? Sometimes you will see this written down differently. You will see F, X, okay? An X like this means double sharp. So if you see the X, it means one sharp and another sharp, okay? Same story goes for flats. You can also have a double flat, but we don't have another abbreviation for that. So now you hopefully know how to figure out any major scale, and keep in mind the use to these scales is that you now know which notes you have to play. A scale has 7 notes. All of the notes need to be there. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. You cannot have a note missing, so you have to make sure that with your sharps and with your flats, you end up on the correct note. It is either a sharp or a flat, okay? So we cannot have a key like this, C sharp and D flat. You will not see that, okay? That doesn't happen. So you have to pick. Do you want to have a sharp key or a flat key, okay? Depending on which key you have, you will automatically end up on sharps and flats. Because if we have the A key, the A major key, the A major scale, we will have A, B, and then we will have a C sharp right here, knowing that it has to be sharp, okay? And then finally, the scale will give you a constraint. Is that how you write it? I have no idea, I'm not English. I hope so. A constraint to which notes you are allowed to play and which notes you are not allowed to play. And it will also therefore identify which chords you're going to play and all of that kind of stuff. But we'll get into that a little bit later, maybe in another Sunday lesson. So I hope this lesson was helpful to you. I want to remind you that I'm giving away a Yamaha P45 digital piano, something like this, a bit of a different model. And you can win that via the link that I put in the upmost comment. So make sure to check that out. And if this is all going a little bit too quick for you, I want to remind you that I have the Ultimate Piano course in the description box down below. You can get 2 months free to that. But for now, the most important thing is that if you enjoyed this lesson, you give it a thumbs up and you come back to watch the next one on the next Sunday.